Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Eric Johansson, a teacher with LSAT Demon. With me is Nathan Fox, the co-founder of LSATdemon.com and the weekly podcast Thinking LSAT. Today we have an email from Julia.
Julia says, "Hi, LSAT Demon gang. I graduated from university back in 2022 and have asked an old professor of mine to write a letter of recommendation. She is great, super knowledgeable, and a fantastic professor. However, she gave me some unwarranted advice on how to write my personal statement that I'm unsure is accurate. She advised me to write a one-page statement of purpose that includes my reasons for pursuing a JD, references the courses I took with her to tie together my application, and mentions one or two specific courses at the schools I'm interested in. She also requested that I send her my personal statement for review once it's complete. I truly appreciate her effort to help me, but from my understanding, the personal statement should be 2 to 3 double-spaced pages, focusing on my motivations for law school, rather than on 2 unrelated undergrad courses, humanities and philosophy. Or am I completely wrong and I should take her advice? This is probably an obvious answer, but I'm worried about ignoring the advice of a professor I highly respect. Plus, she's doing me a favor. Thanks so much again, Julia." I think there's room for you both to be wrong. I don't think your professor's right. A law school personal statement should be, as I understand it, 2 pages, no more than 2 pages.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it needs to be more than 1 page. I always tell people to make sure you make it to the 2nd page and don't go over 2. I think that's the standard for most schools.
Yeah, 1.5 to 2 pages.
I wanted to focus on you, Julia, and what you have done. The personal statement is supposed to be the thing that makes your resume and your transcript come to life. I think your professor is wrong about specifically referencing a couple courses that, especially if it's like courses that you took with her and then she's going to write you the letter of recommendation. I mean, that might be something that happens for other grad programs, but for JDs, I think you want to look like a doer and a winner. You want it to make sense that you're pursuing law school, but they also think that everything makes sense for law school. The law schools themselves, I mean, they're got the big tent, they're welcoming everybody with open arms. And for my money and for Ben's money, what we really would like you to focus on is why you're a winner. So show yourself demonstrating not why you want to do something, but what did you do about that motivation? What have you achieved? You graduated in 2022. You should have 2 years, I guess, of work experience. I'd love to know what's on your resume. And resumes are so boring and they're indecipherable, really. It's so hard to figure out what somebody does from their job descriptions.
The little bullet points you put underneath.
On my resume, there's project manager and there's also product manager. And for people who haven't had either of those jobs, they have no idea what the difference is between those 2 jobs. And a couple of bullet points on the resume is not really going to describe it. So I would like to read a document that describes what you actually achieved in that role.
100%.
And the best personal statements I've ever seen have been ones that talk about achievements, problems that you have solved, ways that you have contributed, things that you have done. And from there, it's a real natural tie-in to law. It's just not hard to make that leap. Law touches everything. And I'm not sure you even need to make the connection. If you've done anything business related at all, then there are legal ties there. And so you can just tell me how much ass you kicked for whatever company you've been working for. And then I would go, oh, and now you want to go to law school? Cool, perfect. That just makes so much sense to me.
You want to make yourself the hero of your application. And I'm not trying to question your professor's motivation here, but it does sound like writing a personal statement that says, hey, these are these courses that I took with this great professor that I loved. Go read their letter of recommendation. It's like, you're not trying to make your letter writer the hero of your application. You're supposed to be the hero of your application. And
right.
If there's something that you did, like maybe there was some research project that you were integral to. Maybe you published a paper with this professor and then presented on it at some conference. There's something there that you could mine where you take a more active role than just taking a class and liking it. So I think, yeah, that's what you want to focus on, like Nate said in your personal statement.
I have a simple solution for Julia, which is write a 1-page document like your professor is requesting and send it to her. I think your professor needs a reminder of what classes you took with her, and she wants to know why you think you want to go to law school. That's going to make it easier for her to write this letter. You know, professors get a lot of requests to write letters of recommendation. They remember some students, they don't remember other students. I think you should put together this document, send it to her, and then ask her to write the letter of recommendation. But that does not have to be your actual personal statement for law school. This professor will never read your actual personal statement from law school for law school. So you're not insulting her or anything if you follow this plan.
Yeah, Julia says that the professor also requested to receive the personal statement for review once it's complete. What do you think about that?
She wants to make it easier for herself to write your letter of recommendation. It's pretty simple. That's why I say, okay, good. Write your 1-page thing. It's a 1-page statement of purpose that includes your reasons for pursuing a JD, references the courses you took with her, and mentions 1 or 2 specific courses at the schools. Sure. You could put that in there. I mean, she doesn't understand what law school is, though, because at law school, all the classes are the same. I mean, you're going to be taking crim and torts and evidence and just all the same contracts and property and all the same courses. So, you know, if there is a school that you're really interested in, if you want to reference that program, fine, in this statement of purpose. But you should tell your professor that you are applying broadly and that you don't think that your professor should reference the specific classes at any specific school, because this letter of recommendation is going to be sent to 10 or 15 or more law schools. So you can tell her, you can do some work for her to help her write this letter. And then just, that's not your personal statement, though.
Yeah.
Thank you, Julia, for writing in. You can email daily@lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.